a charge on Rent Manager, what you first need to have is you need to have a spreadsheet. That's the biggest thing. And your spreadsheet should have like your customer name. Now this spreadsheet right here that we made, it's to correct some water charges that weren't charged correctly. So we got a lot. You can look at it. It's like almost 400 charges. This would take me forever to go in and put all these charges that were missed in here. And these are water charges. So what I did is I made a report from Rent Manager, just a customer import, and I got their names, their account number, and their unit numbers. And then I also did a report where I pulled their balances. Took me 2 minutes to run it. So I populated it all. And then what we did is just put in what each charge was going to be for each person. Okay? So once you get a spreadsheet like this, you want to also make sure the unit number, whatever the unit number, is entered in exactly how it would be in Rent Manager. It's very important because it needs to match up when we do an import. After you get this little spreadsheet, you're going to want to save this file in Rent Manager. And you're going to want to save as. We're going to go ahead and, let's see, browse. Put it on the app drive because Rent Manager always pulls from the app drive. Okay. And this is for new colonies. And I'm just going to put it in their accounts receivable. Okay. Balance due, you can name it. I'm just going to put balance due, water charge. And the other thing you want to do that's really important is you need to change it to a CSV, comma delimited. That is the only type of file that will import into Rent Manager. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. Thinking about it. Okay, and you always want to hit yes, keep using this format. Alright, so we saved it. Another thing we want to do is kind of go through, make sure that there isn't any of this in this column missing. So we're just peeking through. Oh, it looks like there was one person. Now you can do two things. You can put a 0 in there, you can leave it blank, or you can delete the line. If there's nothing in there, it's going to come up as an error in Rent Manager when you go to import it. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete it because I don't need it in there. Sometimes you might want to keep it in there just to make sure that it imported right. Kind of up to you. If you had a bunch of them, it's going to show a lot of errors. So my suggestion is just delete it and save a copy of it. I'm going to hit save again. Okay, so we have this spreadsheet. It's already in the S drive. So once you have that ready, you're going to go up into here. You're going to go File. And you're going to import and export, and you want to import charges. Now you can do the same thing with payment or auto charges too. If you need to do that though, there's a couple different steps that you have to do. So always just call me, make sure. The biggest thing is if you import something wrong, like 400 things, you have to go in and manually delete it if they were wrong. There's no way to wipe the charges off once you upload them. Like in one giant step, you have to go in and delete everyone. Okay, so go ahead and click Import Charges. And then you're going to always click from scratch. And then you're going to search for the file name. So this you'll have to pull up in your app drive. You're going to click app drive. It's going to think. Now this sometimes, just depending on how speedy your computer is, will take a while. But it saves it, so next time you go to grab something out of there, it'll save the folder location. Okay. Alright, so we have our water charge right here. And then it will never pull up anything unless it's in CSV. So if you can't find your spreadsheet and you're like, I know I put it in that folder, it's probably because it's not saved as a CSV. Okay, so we're going to head ahead and open that. It's going to put it in. And sometimes, just depending on how big your file is, it's going to take a little bit. Now, you see where it says customer name, account, unit balance, charge, additional rent. This is a header. We want to make that a header. So it shows up, and I'll show you on the other screen. So once you click that, you're going to hit next. You're going to get to a screen that says use unit supplied. Depending on how you're importing it, so if you're using an account number, you can go do it this way. Or you can use unit supplied to import the following property. Sometimes it's the easier way to go. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And again, if you're ever unsure, just ask. I can let you know which is the best way to do it. All right, hit next. You're going to change this to a quote, and you're going to change this to comma, and it's going to parse. Okay, so what we have here now is all the names, the account and unit numbers. It's pulling them up. things look good, I just kind of quickly do this, look at it. Then the other thing, we have total new colonies. This is how much in their balance was. This doesn't really have anything to do with what I'm importing, so I'm just going to uncheck it. That's another option too. If you had something that was 0, you could just uncheck it. But because we have 400, I didn't want to have to go and find the one that was missing. But I'm unchecking this because it's just a balance that we were using on the spreadsheet as a reference. So we don't need to use that. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is we're going to click on this unit. And if you bring this down, you're going to have different functions. Now, you want to do unit name, not unit ID. So unit name is exactly how it's named in Rent Manager. This is how it's going to sync the accounts together. The other one is I want to do a charge. So I'm going to click this and then click charge amount. Right here. That's the amount I want to charge. The other thing down here, under the post date, I want to post date this now. Now let's say though it's water charges that you need to post on the 1st of the month. You can just simply go here, pick the 1st, and then it won't post it until the 1st. Okay, or if you know you need to do a max amount of charge types, you can click here and just know, hey, yeah, this is a utility charge. I'm going to make this a utility charge. And it'll just make all of these a utility charge. However, if you had a bunch of different types of charges, you could just make a column with a charge type and enter in the charge type as long as it matches in Rent Manager, and you could upload multiple at one time. I personally don't like doing that. I'd rather do separate charges. It's a little bit easier and you can keep track of it better. And we're going to go ahead and put in here Feb water or Feb utility charges. This will just make a comment on that comment section, just like you would when you're putting in a charge. Alright, so we got that. I'm going to hit next. And it's syncing. So what it'll do is it syncs it, syncing it to the customers. So if you notice where it says no matching name in this section, that means it's not finding the unit, so something's wrong. So you could just write that down and go in and manually put it in, or you can go and fix the spreadsheet and do these steps all over again. Kind of up to you. So what I do is I quickly just kind of glance through it, see if I have anything missing that says no match found. Doesn't look like it, so I should be good. So once you kind of give it a good glance over at this, you're going to go ahead and hit import. Now this is going to take a little bit, just depending on how much it needs to do. But after you're done with this step, you're done. So I literally just put 400 and some charges in less than 5 minutes. So if you ever have to do something like that, or like at a property like Frog Pond or University Village, if you guys have an admin fee you have to charge, you can go in and actually charge all these at one time. So you don't have to go in and manually put it in for each additional person, or set up a recurring, you don't have to do that. You can do it this way. And I never knew about this because I had to do an admin fee. I charge every year to all my residents one time a year. So I was going into every single account for 350 some residents and adding the charge when I could have just done this. So it would save me a ton of time. You can also do it based on, your lease start and end dates. There's a bunch of different ways. This is a basic way to do it. Still thinking, almost done. Does anybody have any questions on this?
Nope.
No?
So pretty
Okay.
much you're saying that the utilities that we enter, I can actually import the charges?
Yes.
Manager.
So Paula, are the utilities different every month? Like the charges?
Yeah, it's different every month.
Yeah, you could do this. You could just set up a spreadsheet and pop them in. It saves you so much time. So right here, it says 392 charges imported successfully, 0 charges failed. Okay. You always want to click do not save as a template. Okay. And it's done. So if I go ahead and click on the customer for new colonies, let's see, I'll show you here. Okay. And I go under their transactions. Let's see. Just kind of looking to see where the charges are. Not everybody. Right here, utilities, February utility charges, 57. Okay, there's another one. So I just saved myself a ton of time. Yay!